eyewitness weather forecast.
And a wonderful Wednesday evening to everybody. I'm meteorologist Jordan Reed, tracking a very pleasant long holiday weekend ahead of us. But before we get to that, we do have a hurdle to get through tomorrow with some possibly strong to severe thunderstorms. We've got a bit of hazy sunshine out there in downtown Utica right now, where currently it is 81 degrees. But thanks to the dew point at 60 degrees, as well as a westerly wind at 12 miles an hour, it feels like 82. But that dew point is much lower than it has been over the last couple of days, thanks to that west-northwesterly wind here that you can see on our temperature map. That's keeping areas up toward the north cooler, more like mid to upper 70s there. Same thing down in Oneonta, where it's 77, and Hamilton is at 79. The radar is also quiet, but that's going to change through the next 12 to 18 hours or so with that next cold front heading our way. You can see this the first cold front that moved through our area yesterday, that is offshore now off the coast of the Atlantic. And then right behind me, we have the second one moving in. Not a lot of moisture associated with it quite yet, but as it continues to develop during the overnight hours and during the day tomorrow, we'll have some more moisture associated with it. A lot of that's up toward Canada right now as well. So as far as our futurecast goes, we'll remain mainly clear during the overnight hours. May see a few mid and high level clouds during the overnight with temperatures between 60 and 65. And you may wake up to a few showers out there tomorrow morning, but then as we head through about noon to 8 p.m., it looks like that's when the cold front moves through, and with it does come the potential for a couple of thunderstorms that may become strong to severe before we clear things out and cool things down once again tomorrow night, and especially on Friday, which bodes well for the 4th of July as well as the weekend thereafter. Temperatures tomorrow morning will be between 65 and 70 for most of us, a little bit cooler than that up toward the north and down toward the south, and that's before the front moves through. But in between that, we will have intervals of clouds and sunshine, a westerly wind at around 5 to 10 miles an hour. Of course, the wind could be much higher in any storms that do develop, with temperatures making their way up to about between 75 and 80 degrees for most of us, with again the westerly wind continuing, and that will produce some mid and high level clouds as well as maybe some hazy conditions out there as well. As far as that severe weather risk goes, it looks the best again across the southern tier, northeastern Pennsylvania, the Catskills, the mid-Hudson Valley. But for us here in central New York, there may be a few stronger storms, mainly between noon and 8 p.m., with strong winds, hail, and heavy rain being the main threats. More specifically on those threats, you have a slight risk for some wind down toward the Interstate 88 corridor. That's where you could see winds in excess of 55 to 60 miles an hour. Still a marginal risk for the rest of our area, and for all of central New York, we also have a marginal risk for some larger hail. Most of that looks to be on the small side. Temperatures tomorrow between 75 and 80. There's a brief uptick in humidity, but it doesn't last long. We're still between 75 and 80 for Friday. But then Saturday and Sunday, we'll see a few more clouds. But we might have the first weekend, dare I say, since last November, almost 8 months ago, on tap, with maybe our next chance of rain not coming in until Monday and Tuesday.
And of course, the isolated storms are expected to end right before we start our 4th of July weekend on Friday.
Yeah, that's a good timing there.
All right. Coming up next on Eyewitness News at 6, federal budget cuts are already having an impact on nonprofits here in Mohawk Valley. We've got more details.
Now, your eyewitness weather forecast.
And a pleasant Wednesday evening to everybody. I'm meteorologist Jordan Reed, tracking another cold front heading our way for our Thursday, and that could mean some isolated or scattered showers and thunderstorms, but in its wake, we'll have a fairly nice 4th of July holiday and long weekend ahead of us as well. Temperature right now in downtown Utica, 67 degrees under mainly clear skies. The dew point is at 62, but that dew point will come down once again behind that next front, and it feels like 67 thanks to a calm wind at this time. Temperatures just depend on where you are, upper 60s to lower 70s here in the Mohawk Valley, off toward the west, same thing closer toward Albany, but up toward the north and down toward the south, you've got temperatures in the lower to middle 60s right now. And the radar is dry, but that's going to change as we track that next front heading our way. So we've got this cold front here that affected us during the day yesterday. That's now off the Atlantic coast, no longer affecting us, but you can see the first signs of this front starting to come together over portions of Michigan, Lake Ontario, as well as the Great Lakes region into southern Ontario as well. And that'll head our way during the day tomorrow. Late morning into the afternoon is when we expect the best threat for those storms. As far as tonight we'll have a few clouds with temperatures between 60 and 65, and there could be a few scattered showers to start your day, but it looks like the best threat for severe weather will hold off until the afternoon hours, mainly between noon and about 8 p.m. And it looks like right now the best threat of that is going to be down toward the southern tier, and then we'll start to clear things out after about 8, 9 o'clock tomorrow evening. So waking up tomorrow morning, you'll have temperatures into the middle and if not the upper 60s, just depending on where you are. With the northwesterly wind, there will be some intervals of clouds and sun, and we'll have that westerly wind around through most of the day, around 5 to 10, maybe 15 miles an hour. But obviously with any storms that do become strong to severe, there could be gusts stronger than that. Other than that, we'll see intervals of clouds and sun with temperatures tomorrow for most of us between about 75 and 80 degrees, which is seasonably cool for this time of year. But there will be some humidity, but it goes back down as we go through Friday. So again, the best chance for severe weather, that slight risk is going to be down toward the southern tier, northeastern Pennsylvania, and the mid-Hudson Valley. That includes all of Otsego County as well. And the threat for all of central New York includes strong winds, hail, as well as some heavy rain. The best threat for wind obviously going to be down toward the Interstate 88 corridor, where you're under, again, that slight risk for severe wind tomorrow. That mainly means gusts above 55 or 60 miles an hour, and there could be some small hail really anywhere across central New York. There's a marginal risk for that. But once we get beyond that, we're going to have an absolutely beautiful 4th of July with temperatures between 75 and 80. So similar to yesterday, or similar to tomorrow, I should say. But there will be a lot more in the way of sunshine, both tomorrow night and on Friday night. Temperatures will be into the lower and middle 50s, but in the Adirondacks, some of you could get down into the upper 40s. It's a little chilly for this time of year, but that chill will go away by the weekend with increasing humidity. A few clouds here and there, but we really can't complain about the humidity because it may finally be dry for those 48 hours since November of last year, almost 8 months ago, believe it or not.
8 months, and I think 34 weeks is the official count that we're at now?
Somewhere around there. I lost track a while ago, so.
And of course, dry conditions for that day, but also the 4th of July on Friday. Beautiful sunny skies. Should make for some wonderful fireworks displays, and also that flyover over Old Forge at 11 a.m.
Absolutely. Like I said, a little bit seasonably cool for this time of year, but we really can't complain because it will be dry and sunny.
All right. Thanks again, Jordan. More changes are being made on the benches.
Now, your eyewitness weather forecast.
And a pleasant Wednesday evening to everybody. I'm meteorologist Jordan Reed, tracking another cold front heading our way. And with that does come the chance for a few strong to severe storms tomorrow. But in its wake, we'll be left with a nice long holiday weekend ahead of us. Right now in downtown Utica, it's fairly nice out there right now, 65 degrees. Dew point 62, feels like 65 thanks to a calm wind. And the dew point will be on the rise a little bit during the day tomorrow before it comes down in the wake of that cold front. Temperatures across the region right now are in the 60s and 70s, with the exception of Boonville already at 58. And most of us are expected to get down between about 60 and 65 degrees. The radar is dry right now, but that's going to change over the next 12 to 18 hours thanks to the passage of that cold front. And you can see what's left of yesterday's cold front is now off the New England coast. And then back toward the west, we've got the secondary cold front trying to organize itself together over southern Canada and over Michigan right now. It'll do so during the overnight hours. It'll still be fairly disorganized, so not every town is going to see as strong thunderstorm tomorrow, but they will be isolated as scattered, and it looks like the best chance of that will be between noon and 8 p.m. There could be even an isolated or scattered shower tomorrow morning, but again, not every town is going to see one, but the ones that do could quite pack a punch with some strong winds as well as some heavy rain. So we will have temperatures tomorrow morning between 65 and 70, just depending on where you are when you're heading out the door around 7 a.m. And then during the day, we will have intervals of clouds and sun and that chance for isolated or scattered showers and storms. And winds out of the west northwest are generally around 5 to 15 miles an hour, but obviously there could be gusts higher than that and any storms that develop. Tomorrow afternoon, we'll have temperatures between about 75 and 80. Cooler up toward the north, though, up in the Adirondacks, more like low to mid 70s there. And most, if not all, of central New York is under a marginal risk for severe weather, with the exception of areas toward Otsego County, closer toward Interstate 88, where there is the higher risk for some strong wind gusts, some hail, as well as some heavy rain. So there's that wind threat again in the slight category for tomorrow. Could see wind gusts 55 to 60 miles an hour. and any storms that develop, and we all run the risk of some small hail. Again, isolated to scattered. Not every town's going to see one tomorrow. We'll have temperatures between 75 and 80 with a slight uptick in the humidity, and then it comes back down in the wake of that cold front with temperatures still between 75 and 80 on Friday, with more in the way of sunshine, a nice westerly breeze, and a little bit cool for this time of year, but still we can't complain about that. And we may have the first totally dry weekend on our hands since November 17th of last year. The only thing you'll be complaining about is the uptick in temperature and humidity.
Thank you, Jordan. You're watching Eyewitness News.